Well, I mean, she just wants to get on with her life, and the fact that it keeps coming back over and over and over, it creates a lot of stress. I think that, to have to relive these moments over, as much as it's boring for the media to keep hearing it over and over again, it sucks for her to have to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. It wears on her, but she's a warrior, and I think she needed to get her final say so that she can move on with her life.
And, you have been by her side, as I said, throughout all of this for so many years. As you know, when she did testify, the defense then tried to tear her apart. It was a purposefully denigrating cross-examination. You could hear it in the voice of the attorney. What was it like for you as Stormy's husband to hear all of that?
I mean, look, I'm used to hearing all the kind of hate. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so. But for her, she's so experienced with it right now. It doesn't bother me as much as she'll tell you, like, Twitter's her favorite sport. So she's kind of used to all of this. I think she was probably more prepared than anything for those type of comments, because that's kind of what she gets all the time from Twitter and from all her social media. So I think that almost helped prepare her, all the negative hate and all the negative comments. But for me personally, I don't really follow. I don't really get on all the social media and all the hate and all the tweets and all that stuff. So for me personally, it doesn't really affect me unless it affects her. If she comes back and something hurts her, then that's when it bothers me.
I mentioned the tone of the defense cross-examination, Barrett, and they did repeatedly try to shame her. And shame her career specifically. Yeah. There was just one exchange. I had written it down when I was in the room, but the Trump's lawyer says, you've acted in porn in 21 sex films, right? And Stormy replies, including compilations. Lawyer says, and you've also written and directed 150 sex films, you said in your direct. Is that correct? And Stormy replies, give or take. And the lawyer says, and so this was your career for over 20 years, writing, acting, and directing sex films, right? Stormy says, yes. And then the lawyer says, Barrett, so you have a lot of experience in making phony stories about sex appear to be real, right? And I'm emphasizing the words here because there was a lot of tone in it. And Stormy stops and says, wow. And then she sort of laughs and she goes, that's not how I would put it. The sex in the films, it's very much real, just like what happened to me in that room. What do you hear there? I mean, the tone of the questions was purposefully denigrating about everything Stormy did, about her life and about her career. What does Stormy think about the way those questions were asked?
I mean, once again, I think, the career that we chose early on, she's been getting that since she started doing porn. She's kind of used to that kind of thing. Yeah. People are trying to slut shame her since day one. And she's proud of what she does. She does not think that sex is a negative thing. Sex shouldn't be looked at as such a forbidden taboo. It's a very American thing to think that way. And as far as the comments, I mean, I think she's dead on. I don't think she's ashamed of all of it. And I agree. I think she's a brilliant writer. So any of that stuff that these phony sex, she would have written something way better than what she said about the Trump story. So
I mean, she did come back very quickly there when she said, that's not how I would put it. The sex in the films, it's very much real, just like what happened to me in that room. Right. I mean, she didn't take a second to even pause to say that.
Yeah. And I think there's a comment afterwards about, that she made up this story just like she writes her stories in her movies, something like that. And she said, no, I would have written it a lot better. And I agree. She's a brilliant writer. She would have wrote it a lot more entertaining and with a lot better person, I would imagine.
She did absolutely say that. So Barrett, when you and Stormy have had a chance to talk about this since she testified, have you discussed what happens when you talk about her trying to get on with her life if Trump is found not guilty?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If Trump is found not guilty, I think there's either way, I don't think it gets better for her. I think if it's not guilty, we got to decide what to do. A good chance we'll probably vacate this country. If he is found guilty, she's still going to have to deal with all the hate that feel like she's the reason that he's guilty from all of his followers. So I don't see it as win situation either way. You know, I know that we would like to get on with our lives. I know that she wants to move past this. We just want to do what I guess you would say normal people get to do in some aspects. But I don't know if that ever will be, you know, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Some of the things that she has to go through that people don't realize, you know,
that garbage can orbit of Donald Trump. No doubt that he's nervous.
What'd you do?
On Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, Donald Trump entered a Manhattan courtroom and pled not guilty to 34 crimes.
Fucking movie star. You're a fucking movie star.
Said tick, tick, tick.
Before we go any further,
back the governor anyway, but it helps with Trump.
oh, to be a GOP name, eh? The latest must-be-seen sycophant area is... No idea why. Guess they need some level of attention.
A month. He's been here a month. I am disappointed in looking at the supposedly American citizens in that courtroom, that the DA comes in and he acts like it is his Super Bowl. And I guess it is, to be noticed. But that's what's happening in this country.
What is that book called? Is it How to Win Friends and Influence Them? How to Lose Friends and They Influence You? There is a title, please, in the comment section. Suffice to say, Joe Exotic is kind of pissed off with Trump. I've called him by his name. Look at his tweet.
Inside Donald Trump's prison cell, the surroundings are like any other small, enclosed space. The walls are gray concrete, and a narrow cot with a thin mattress is the only piece of furniture. A tiny metal sink and toilet combo sit in one corner, while a small barred window allows a sliver of natural light to filter in. The sound of clanking bars echoes through the air as guards patrol the hallway outside.
What is...
President Trump is 76 years old. He will die in federal prison.
Trump spends his days pacing the limited floor space. The once powerful man now finds himself in a place of confinement.
Sunday, you probably are fully aware, was Mother's Day, which allowed the Uncle Tim of the Year, also known as the head of ass-kissing for the Republican Party. Am I allowed to say that? Tim Scott. How long is he keeping this picture thing going? Yeah? Every so often we get an updated picture. He's still a virgin, by the way. Allegedly. Sue me if I'm wrong.
Was that?
Confession. I swear a lot. Well, it's not a big deal. I try not to do it in front of my 4-year-old. That being said, don't really get it. We're in 2024 and various people on blue tick Twitter, can you believe it? Bearing in mind how much language of a fornication type the ousted president, the losing president of the United States uses, as in a former guy, you would have thought his sycophants were familiar with the language, but no, outrage! How dare VP Harris have a F-bomb moment? How dare she?
We have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open, sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that fucking door down. Excuse my language.